The second resource that I want to talk to you guys about is PG&E's Guide to California Climate Zones. All right, it's if you do a Google search for PG&E California Climate Zones, you'll come up with this page, and it'll take you to this page. They're going to be moving the page, so unfortunately, it may be harder to find in the future. But this page right here contains a series of first of all, it contains a map that shows you where the climate zones of California are. And it might be a little bit hard for you to decipher, okay, well, what climate zone am I looking for? All right, and so part of what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to look at the geography of California, the topography, to kind of get an idea of where things are. And you are going to have to make some judgments on which climate zone to use. Claremont is a perfect one, okay, when you look at it from the climate zone perspective of what is wrong with the generalized climate zones. So we'll take a quick look at that. On the side here, you can download each of the climate zones. This will give you a snapshot of the climate zones with a series of graphs in it, okay? And in addition to that, you can also download all of them. So right now, if we look down here, do you guys see that little jut out right there? There's a little jut out down at the bottom, and once again, somebody has messed with the... Let me pause this for a minute. Okay, so I think I've adjusted the projector. You guys should be able to see. Do you guys see that little jut out right there? That little jut out right there and that line that goes up and comes way out there is San Bernardino County. Okay? So I live in Claremont, so I'm aware of where Claremont is in relationship to San Bernardino County. Okay? So Climate Zone 10 is arbitrarily located, in my opinion, right at the edge of San Bernardino County. If we wanted to double check that, we could say, oops, what happened? So there's the San Bernardino County map. It'll disappear once we zoom in too close. We'll see. It's going to disappear here real soon. Right there. Okay. Any rate, so you can see right there, if I zoom in just a little bit, see that like diagonal line there? Claremont's on one side, Upland's on the other. So what do you think Claremont's climate would be more like? Do you think Claremont would be more like Upland or Los Angeles? And yet, when we go back to this, you'll note that as far as climate zones are concerned, PG&E and other aspects of the California Energy Commission are going to put Claremont in Zone 9 versus Zone 10. I can tell you right now, my daughter went to school at USC, which is right in downtown LA. And in summer, the temperature differentials between Claremont and downtown LA are day and night. It doesn't really get super hot in LA very often, but it gets hotter than heck out here in Claremont. And in the wintertime, the edge, that cold edge, is removed from downtown LA, but it's very present out here. Okay, so you have to use a value judgment when you guys are looking at that sort of thing. Part of what has a huge impact on climate and weather, right, is the elevation at which something is located. Claremont's at about 1,400 feet. Los Angeles is, I'm guessing, at 500 feet above sea level. So that's another sort of factor. At any rate, let's take a quick look at the climate zones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use climate zone 9 and 10. And we'll contrast those two climate zones since Claremont sits right in between the two. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to download climate zone 10. All right. And I think what I'll do is I'll break that one off once again and we'll put it to the side. And then I'm going to do climate zone 9, which is where Claremont technically is. All right, and then I'll bring these back, slam them to the corners, and we can compare the two. All right, so the first page of these sheets, right, gives you kind of a synopsis of it. And what I want you to kind of take a look at is it gives you the elevation. So climate zone 9, it says is 270 feet. As I just mentioned, Claremont is at 1,400 feet of elevation. Okay, so right there it tells you that, yeah, maybe something's wrong there. If we look at the other one for Riverside, 840 is a little closer to where Claremont is. But neither of them are perfect. Taking a look at some other stuff, the summer temperature range. Okay, so the summer temperature range for climate zone 9 is 19 degrees. That means that if your overnight low is 62, right? So let's round it to 60. All right? So if your overnight low is 60, what's your high? 79 degrees. Is it? It's 79 degrees. Are you going to be running the heater? Or you think you'll be running the air conditioner full bore? Not really. 62 and 79, you probably don't need to do anything other than to open the windows periodically and close the windows up. Okay? Now take a look at the temperature range for Riverside. So again, do the math. So now you got to, let's say that the overnight low is 60 degrees once again. What's your daytime high? 92. 92, you might be running your air conditioner, right? It's pretty warm. Okay? So these are some of the things that you guys can look at. There's a quick sort of descriptor here. There are some climate design priorities listed down here at the bottom, and you'll notice that they're kind of the same, right? So insulation, reduced infiltration, passive solar. In the summer, shading, allowing natural ventilation to come through, and a distributed thermal mass. All right? Okay, let's kind of scroll down through the pages and take a quick look at these things. So right here we see the bioclimatic chart. We talked about those last week too. We talked about the bioclimatic chart compared to the psychometric chart, okay? But take a look at these two charts right here. One for climate zone 9, where Claremont technically is, and one for climate zone 10 that's you know, 10 feet outside of Claremont, okay? Because you could be standing in Claremont and walk across the street, and you're now in San Bernardino County. Right there, if you go on 6th Street, right, where the colleges end, and there's a quarry there, when you cross that street, you just entered San Bernardino. You entered Upland, okay? Which, again, this is Riverside, so it's going to be kind of a lot of confusing stuff. But take a look at the comfort zone, right, from about 68 to 80 degrees in Los Angeles. It's kind of cool in the winter, so you're going to have to use heat. But in summertime, you probably don't have to do a whole hell of a lot in LA. You guys all live out this way, right? None of you live in downtown or towards the coast. So you guys know that in the summertime, if you don't run your air conditioner in the inland valleys, you're going to be hot. So this is a clearer picture of what's happening in the inland valleys. Okay? The bioclimatic chart shows you the temperature ranges for the 12 months. There are 12 colors there, right? And where they fall in relationship to the comfort zone, the use of thermal mass. We're going to talk about the things like thermal mass, evaporative cooling, natural ventilation, and passive solar as part of today's lessons, okay? Right now, first thing we got to do is to kind of understand climate. So some stuff on relative humidity. And remember that relative humidity is going to have an impact, right, on how well your body can cool itself. That ties back to human thermal comfort. And finally, we have ET, right? Extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial radiation, and you guys get an idea of the amount of radiation, I don't know what this is listed in. I don't know what factor. It could be in lumens, might be in BTUs, I'm not sure. Okay. And then the wind speed in relationship to direction, okay, and the average speed. So wind speed seems to be kind of different between the two. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here, and then we're going to move on to Climate Consultant.